October 10th, 2010. Hasbro partnered up with Discovery to launch a brand new network for family programming. Among those programs included G.I. Joe Renegades, Transformers Prime, Strawberry Shortcake, and Family Game Night. However, there was one show out of the many that became the flagship show for the network. That was My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, created by Lauren Faust.
Who would have thought that the fourth incarnation of the IP, originally made to sell toys and other products to young girls just like its generational predecessors, would grow to such an unexpected but gigantic pop culture phenomenon, both on and off the air? Who would have thought that the majority of this generation's audience would be not just little girls, not just normal families, but grown adult men? And who would have thought that as a result of this unexpected fan base, the world was made just a little bit brighter through their generosity and kindness?
After 9 years on the air, the show has finally come to its conclusion in prime time on October 12th, 2019. Through trials and tribulations and through many staff changes, did the series conclude on a memorable high note like Regular Show, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, and Phineas and Ferb? Or did it peter out on a brown note like Game of Thrones, Dexter, and How I Met Your Mother? Well, as the host of At the Screening, we can say the show left us 100% satisfied.
Oh, no question about it. The ending of the end and the last problem, while it had a bit of a clumsy start, got back on their hooves and knocked it out of the park with one of the most satisfying conclusions I have ever seen in an animated program. They had action, they had suspense, they had laughs, and of course, they had heart and soul. Ready, voice?
No time like the present, Thespio. Welcome to At the Screening. So, where do we start when talking about the final 3 episodes? Well, how about the big twist I don't think anyone saw coming?
That was unexpected.
No, your eyes are not deceiving you. Discord was Grogar the whole time. In order to test Twilight that she was 100% ready to handle anything, Discord, under the guise of Grogar, summoned the 4 biggest threats to Equestria to instill confidence in the soon-to-be ruler. If at any point she wasn't ready, Discord's phenomenal cosmic power would step in and take care of everything. And that is something I would see Discord doing. Heck, it was even foreshadowed in the beginning of the end part 2 with Sombra.
Of course, you don't think some would-be king could actually hurt the Lord of Chaos, do you? Anyway, as I was saying, I pretended to be very hurt to convince you that you didn't need anything but yourself to be the incredible leader I know you can be.
Essentially, Discord is the dungeon master with a backup plan in case they're going too hard on the players. The only problem is that safety net is gone and the entire kingdom is under threat of a TPK, a total party kill. So saying Discord goofed up is way too light of an understatement.
I'll be honest, I have some mixed feelings on this twist. While it's true I didn't see this coming at all, at the same time it just befuddled me. Let me explain. Upon first appearance, Grogar was shown to be a very threatening ancient tyrant, given that he was named the Father of Monsters. And throughout the course of the season, the biggest point was that we had no idea how much he was letting on when it came to the other members of the Legion of Doom either fighting alongside him or going against him. Even his past battles with Gusty the Great, mentioned in Frenemies, and even read by Twilight in a flurry of emotions, built him up to be a really big deal. And you can bet your flank I was hella excited to see him in action for the final battle. But no, it was all a facade by Discord. You mean to tell me that even under the guise of this Ram Sorcerer long past, Discord alone was still more powerful than all 3 villains combined without the Bewitching Bell? That makes Discord, bar none, the most powerful villain in the entire show. And you have no chance in defeating him unless you either turn him to stone or become his friend, I guess. I can understand his intentions to help Twilight gain more confidence to take over the throne. And yeah, I do believe it would be in his character to do so, just like he's done before in The Beginning of the End, Princess Twilight Sparkle, and Three's a Crowd, among others. But don't you think that upon seeing that maybe his deceptive tactics to get them to work together was actually working, or even seeing that King Sombra alone was almost successful, he would cease and desist his master plans and just get rid of the Legion of Doom himself with literally the snap of a finger? You know, instead of absent-mindedly causing quite possibly the biggest international crisis Equestria has ever had in years? Yeah, you may be fun to watch a lot of the time, Discord, but I'm sorry, you totally deserved that reasons you suck speech from the main 6 and the princesses. Like I said, it's an unexpected twist, but at the same time it left me really confused and overall extremely disappointed that we never actually got to see the real Grogar in action. Like, they really built him up to be a truly unstoppable force, but yet he served no purpose in the end.
Yeah, that is true. Seeing the real Grogar in action would have been a sight to see. However, going back to that reasons you suck speech, by the two-parter's end, Discord's plan still worked. Well, okay, not the Twilight will gain the confidence to defeat them part, that was a given. I mean, the infighting between Cozy Glow, Tyrek, and Chrysalis would be their undoing. Throughout the arc, every time Discord returned to visit the Legion of Doom, they appeared to be at each other's throats. Their own discord and distrust would be their undoing in Discord's eyes, and he would have nothing to worry about. Now, having the Legion hide the bell from him and the trio taking away his chaos magic threw a wrench into the gears of the master plan. However, keeping the chaos magic far away from everyone was the best and worst plan for the three. For one, with Cozy Glow unable to handle the power cosmos, one could make the connection that Chrysalis would also be at the power's mercy. The only one who could take hold of Discord's chaos magic is Tyrek, which doesn't look good to the other two. The endgame for the three is to share the power evenly to take over Equestria for their eventual respective kingdoms and then leave each other alone. If Tyrek grabbed hold of the chaos magic, he would be a massive target for ridicule from his cohorts. In comic terms, it would be if Thanos needed the help of both Magneto and Annihilus to find new worlds to conquer equally, but only Thanos could use the Infinity Gauntlet to bend the universe to his will, while it almost destroys the other two. When the prospect of more power in the Bell is captured, their distrust of each other breaks their non-friendship bonds, giving the main 6 an advantage to defeat them. So, even when Discord fails, he ends up succeeding.
Huh. You know, when you put it like that, yeah, that does make sense. Like I said, I don't flat out hate this twist. I just think it could have been done better. 'Cause as is, oof. Poor Twilight's probably feeling the most existential she's ever felt. With Discord doing what he did, the prospect that all of her victories were nothing but lies hits her really hard. And who could blame her? If there was ever a moment for her to start Twilighting again, now would be the time. And with the stakes as high as they are, it would be completely justified. Even when her friends are captured and she's searching like mad to find a way to defeat the Legion of Doom, either with or without her friends, the pressure that's overtaking her feels legit. It almost mirrors the pressure she felt in the movie, thinking that they're not enough.
All around, nothing we've ever done has mattered. Sombra returned and destroyed the Tree of Harmony. Chrysalis, Tyrek, Cozy Glow returned and more powerful than ever. The School of Friendship shut down. Every pony in Equestria is so blinded by fear they can't remember what friendship is. Nothing we do makes any difference. What if I make things worse? Ever since Celestia told me I was taking over, I've been gaining confidence. Then I find out it's all a lie. Equestria's been falling apart around us and I didn't even notice. What kind of princess does that make me? I'm scared.
That's not funny. That's not...
So, yeah, it's really hit the fan here. Can we have something to offset the gloom and doom, please?
Just the head mare I want to see.
You didn't make an appointment.
There we go, Starlight making cheesy action one-liners while fighting Queen Chrysalis. One of the many awesome lines littered throughout the episode.
Close, but I was thinking more of lines like these.
Fly, my pretties!
Fly, you fool!
What are we gonna do, Twilight? The same thing we do every time, Pinky. Try to save the world.
Yeah, you can tell the staff are just complete nerds. And I love them.
More importantly, the show hasn't been this action-packed since Twilight's Kingdom. From Tyric's curb stomp of the Pillars of Harmony, to Starlight's duel with Chrysalis in the mountains, to Cozy Glow's siege of Canterlot, all of it built up to the epic final battle of the main 7 versus the Legion of Doom. This was the most violent I've seen the show go. Hell, there was a visible moment of torture when Chrysalis threatened to rip off Spike's wings. The kid gloves were officially off in this two-parter. And with all hope lost, the group was saved in one of the most badass moments of the show.
What happened? Can I open my eyes?
You sure can! Way to go, Twilight!
It's not moving.
Thanks to the Student 6, the nations of the world came together to save Equestria from its biggest threat. If it wasn't clear by now, I love these kids so much! I was right to say the future was bright with them in the best and worst of Season 8 video.
Yeah, these kids are gonna grow up just fine. But now that you mention it, that brings up another point. With the Legion of Doom planting the seeds to drive the pony races apart because of fear and doubt, it causes history to repeat itself with the return of the Wendigos. But every creature comes together, probably for the first time, to help defeat a great enemy and remind Twilight that it was her that brought everyone together. Influenced by the past of the Pillars, the present of the Remain 5 and Spike, and the future of the students. Also, Chrysalis must be really steamed that her own kind are rebelling against her yet again. Or should I say she's really stoned? What the? Hey, what gives? I thought I took care of our pest problem.
I guess you must have missed the eggs there. But then again, that joke wasn't inaccurate.
Together forever.
However, you're missing a major part out of all of this. Remember this little exchange?
We should take the magic inside it. You know how powerful Discord was. That much chaos magic in our veins.
But taking it all would be madness. It's impossible for any other creature to control.
Yeah, about that.
We will always return. Nothing will ever stop.
Pinky, you took Discord's magic from the bell? How do you feel?
Tingly, itchy, also like...
I can transform the cosmos so everything is made of icing!
There's the Pinkie Pie I know and love. Only someone who can match the insanity and chaos of Discord can truly master it. And there's only one pony insane enough to join the Q Continuum. Pinkie Pie, best pony!
Okay, yeah, that was a pretty big part, but I'm sorry, I still have to bring this up. Sure, it was with the help of Chrysalis and Tyrek and, by extension, Discord, but do they really find nothing wrong with turning a child to stone?
No amount of therapy will ever make this moment okay.
So, you mean to tell me that the princesses consider a little Pegasi filly, whom up until now only had normal Pegasus magic, almost as big of a threat, if not more dangerous than Discord was? So much so that they have no choice but to solidify her into solid rock for all time? Okay, you know I have my hang-ups with School Rays, and I know others like Firebrand have brought up all the problems with her, which I completely agree with if it wasn't obvious. But now that the show is over, these points are even more poignant than ever now. How did a Pegasus child get in contact with Tyrek in the first place? How did she even come to the conclusion of friendship equals power? Did she even have any parents who knew about all this? If she does, I'd assume they would be downright livid with the princesses for what they did. An entire season to give us any sort of explanation, and they give us nothing. Hell, in the overall context of the show, did she really serve any legit purpose?
I have so many questions!
I'm sorry, I know I'm harping on this, but with the show giving us zero explanations, these glaring issues are quite frankly unignorable. They don't show us anything, they don't even tell us anything. Also, after all Equestria has been through, call me morbid if you want, but I would expect them to straight up smash that statue like they did with the Storm King. So that way, they would have absolutely no chances of ever breaking free. And don't even think about giving me that, oh, it's a kid's show, they can't show anyone getting killed on screen. Yeah, 2 things for you, buddy. 1, Disney, and 2, tell that to King Sombra, whose literal deaths were explicitly shown on screen, not once, but twice!
Next time I get a free sundae.
Speaking of Sundays, the ending scene takes place in one of the best callbacks we've had this season. Instead of going right for Twilight's coronation, the girls and Spike decided to wait for the castle repairs, as it done blowed up, and shared some post-apocalyptic donuts at Pony Joe's, the same place they met up after the Grand Galloping Gala, claiming it was the worst night ever. It's poignant for a couple of reasons. First, it's a moment of relaxation and regrouping, as the girls just went through a different version of hell. The first time was slice of life based, this time it was adventure based. Second, this small exchange between Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash.
It's like the end of an era.
Or the beginning of an even more awesome era.
Okay, when the show gets meta, it's usually for laughs. This is one of the few times the show took on the meta text and it's serious. It really feels like G4 is the end of an era. In just 9 years, the animation industry changed for the better. While some ideas and cartoons from this decade are set in the weird and ludicrous, their themes are what will ring true in the end. Steven Universe is about gem aliens preventing an oncoming invasion of Earth, but the themes explored relationships in love and family. Regular Show helped find the excitement in the mundane workplace setting. Gravity Falls embraced sci-fi and fantasy, while its central theme was about growing up. DuckTales 2017 has the race cars, lasers, and airplanes, but it's tied to the theme of family. With Friendship is Magic, hell, it's in the name. We explored the themes of friendship and the importance of having friendships in the long run, and the main cast of characters are Technicolor talking horses. I don't think we'll ever have a show like this ever again, but the next generation is on its way, and all we can do is hope the next series is just as awesome as this one.
True. As for me, I'm not gonna mince words here, people. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is far from a perfect cartoon. It has its ups and downs, just like any other show. But you can't tell me that it didn't have the guts to tackle tough subjects with as much style and grace as possible. Sometimes it succeeded, sometimes it stumbled, and sometimes it just fell flat on its face. But what made it all worth it was the characters we've grown to enjoy watching as they went on this life-changing journey with us. And this 2-parter did all it could to give us something not just worth watching, but worth talking about. Overall, while it had a questionable start and tripped over itself here and there, the show did its best to wrap up as many loose ends as possible in this primetime event.
So, despite this having quite possibly the worst name for an episode title since Bats, this 2-parter delivered on pretty much everything. It's a high-stakes blockbuster with a smorgasbord of laughs, heart, and big character moments that are sure to leave a lasting impression on everyone. In doing so, we give the ending of the end 2 hooves up. Thanks once again for stopping by the balcony or at the screening. Oh, right, forgot, we still have one more episode to review.
Many years have passed since the events of the two-parter, and an older and wiser Princess Twilight Sparkle and her ambassador/royal advisor Spike are sitting in the throne room when her own top student Luster Dawn enters, asking for advice on her own friendship problems. As she attempts to help solve it, Twilight reminisces on one final moment she and her friends spend together before her official coronation. Over the course of 222 episodes, this would be the last problem. Oh boy, what an emotional roller coaster this was.
Buddy, I wept like a willow tree by the end of this episode. By the time the book closed, I was reaching for the nearest box of Kleenex.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't close to doing that too. Aside from the flashback segments, this just felt like a big where are they now style Easter egg hunt. And believe me, there are so many that could take up its own video. Trust me when I say, it was almost like I was playing a bona fide Where's Waldo or I Spy while watching. But focusing on the flashback segments first. We see Twilight moving out of the Castle of Friendship and back into Canterlot. Huh. I guess Castle Friendship really was only there to sell toys if she was willing to move out of it with no pony taking over. And I guess she's retaining the fact that she didn't learn anything about letting go of personal material items back in Tragia, seeing as she doesn't even want to forget about bringing one of Spike's Power Pony comics. Which I'm honestly surprised that they still haven't sued that magic comic shop yet for sucking up innocent victims. But either way, she's not really thrilled with the concept of moving away from her friends, whom all still have their own lives to live in Ponyville. And of course, she has fears that she's leaving them all behind and that they may all drift apart as a result. So Spike suggests she go talk to them about it, and eventually they all admit that they're feeling the same way. You see, Cutie Remark? This is how a friend moving away story is done right.
Wait, aren't both episodes written by Josh Haber?
Wait, they are? You got lucky, Haber.
Anywho, the plot itself. How fitting is it that the framing device is centered around a student of an all-powerful alicorn who sees friendship as a distraction? The series is literally bookended by a unicorn who needs to learn lessons in friendship. Eventually, she goes on to Ponyville where the journey began so many moons ago to continue studies in friendship among a more diverse group of creatures. To be honest, it's actually how I picture the series concluding. Not via an epic battle defending the core of the show's mythos, but an X years later story seeing how everyone has matured later in life. The coronation plot, let's just say there are some real-life parallels to all of this. A lot of us met through the show and became good friends because of it. But now that the show's concluded, a lot of us are worried about what will happen now that the book has been closed. There is a fear among us that our friendships will fade away. It parallels Twilight's fear of moving back to Canterlot and leaving all of her friends behind, and everyone else is just as scared. Thankfully, Twilight made her first royal decree after the coronation was less than disastrous.
I suggest we meet once a moon. In fact, my first royal decree as ruler of Equestria is to establish this Council of Friendship.
Okay, this is my only nitpick in the episode. Wasn't the Council of Friendship already established back in Twilight's Kingdom? Although, it wasn't actually stated, rather it was implied. Hey, wait a minute. I came up with the name of Council of Friendship back in my Twilight's Kingdom review with A&Y.
Flashback.
Although, the interior is where it's at, as we see the main room has a round table for the main six and Spike. The Council of Friendship, if you will. The Council of Friendship, if you will.
The Council of Friendship.
Dang it, Haber, you do watch my reviews, don't you?
Coincidence? I think not!
Whoa, slow down there, Sherclop Pones. Not really sure if the writers were ever contractually allowed to watch fan reviews or not.
Hey, we actually buried the hatchet, thank you very much.
Wait, really?
Yep, we ran into each other at BronyCon, and we're pretty much square.
Well then. Good for you, man. Anyway, I suppose the only tiny issue I have, aside from wishing we could see how older Twilight got to have a flowing mane and grow several feet taller, is when Luster Dawn says, friendship seems like a distraction and ultimately a waste of time. At first I was thinking, uh-oh, introvert alert. But then she actually asked some pretty good questions like, Why should friendships be important if they eventually fade? While listening to her, I was reminded a little bit of some select people that found fault with amending fences, and how it seemed like Twilight was pushing friendship onto Moondancer rather than letting her find it herself. I hate to say it, but part of me does agree that some just aren't comfortable in a lot of social situations and prefer their alone time. While Luster Dawn isn't anywhere near as depressed or as grouchy as Moondancer was, she does bring up a little flaw in the theme of the show, if we were to really take it seriously. Yeah, having friends is great, but that doesn't mean the concept of alone time should be vindicated. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but some of what Luster Dawn said did give me something to think about, being an introvert with extroverted tendencies myself.
Well, coming as an extrovert with some introverted tendencies, I agree alone time is sometimes necessary. However, the logic fails on Luster Dawn's part of friendship being unimportant if they eventually fade. Not if you put in the effort to keep those bonds strong. My mom still remains in contact with her high school and college friends for the past 35 years. Heck, when BronyCon concluded, our Skype groups immediately set up a travel itinerary for future get-togethers so the group would stay together. It's like the moral of Return of Harmony says, friendship isn't always easy, but there's no doubt it's worth fighting for. That's my biggest takeaway from the show as it concludes. You've gotta fight for your camaraderie, because it will be worth it in the end. It reflects the main six as well. Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich got married and had a kid. Rarity acquires the assistance of Iona Bar for her franchise. Apple Dash may or may not be canon, and the Bluebell and Fluttershy's hair signifies she and Discord are eternally happy together. And yet they still make time for each other because their friendship is that important.
You know what? Yeah, that is a good point. The fact that they all put in the effort to stay friends regardless of what came their direction really does prove that they care about each other that much, even if they may not be as close as they once were. I may not have kept many friendships from high school and college myself, but I do know the friendships that I have now, especially the ones that have all come from this fandom, I wouldn't trade for anything. Hell, I even managed to find true love because of it, and I'm forever grateful for that. So, it's probably no surprise that we give this emotional My Little Pony series finale 2 hooves up. But you know, now that I think about it, there was one other glaring question I have now that the show is officially ended. Out of all the characters and creatures that came back to help the main six defeat the Legion of Doom, where was Sunset Shimmer?
Well, find out next time as we take a look at the last Equestria Girl special, Holidays Unwrapped. Well, I should say several weeks from then, as there's currently something going on that weekend the Equestria Girl special airs. But until then, thanks for sticking by us for the entirety of Season 9 for At the Screening. I'm the voice of reason.
And I'm Thespio. Thanks for stopping by the balcony.